Okay, we're ready to start. My name is Donna, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show, where truth matters. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, beginning at 1 p.m. Central Time, as we get to ride home with each other. You can find us on the radio at icradio.media, where we are Fox News affiliates. You may also find us on television. We're syndicated on Abundant Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget the podcast on thenewscasters.com. It's a good way to find the truth about everything, even sports. AP, you're just like exploding. So you're on IC Radio. You're about to be on the newscasters and among other media. So congratulations.
Hey, thank you, Don. I couldn't have done it without you. All your support and your encouragement and your advice and guidance. So I salute you and thank you so much for having me on the show each and every week.
We're lucky to have you, AP, for goodness sakes. I can't think of another sports guy that would be half near what you are. Thank you for being with us. We definitely appreciate it. We make a good team, I think.
You zag and I zig. I zig and you zag, whatever that means.
I'm for that. I'm for it. Well, all the emails have to do with the Alabama.
Yes. Yeah. We might as well start at the top, right, Don?
It's Alabama, this other garbage. I think Alabama just got outplayed. Is it that simple?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, Vanderbilt lined up and beat them at the point of attack. They were able to run the football over 100 yards, throw effectively over 200 yards. And we want to bring up that quarterback, Diego Pavia. And we had been mentioning him down throughout the course of the season. He brought a lot of enthusiasm to the Vanderbilt Commodores. They still struggle on defense at times, but offensively much better than they have produced in the past. So once again, Diego Pavia, he's the hero of that game. They jumped on Alabama. Alabama had that pick six turnover, gave them another 7 points. So that was influenced their enthusiasm to get them going with a 13-0 lead. And Alabama trailed the entire game, never took the lead. But salute to Vanderbilt and the Commodores. They anchored down and they beat an Alabama team ranked number one. I don't think they've ever beat a top 5 team. So it was an historical moment for them. It was an historical moment for Alabama. I think it's only happened, Donna, 4 times or so when Alabama's been ranked number one. They lost to an unranked team.
Yeah.
But it was sensational for Vanderbilt. It was eye-opening for Alabama fans. And in the recent history, I say 50 years, let's say, 69, Alabama lost to Vanderbilt up there. I think it was 14-10. Watson Brown was the quarterback. He was recruited by Alabama. And then they lost in 84, I think 30-21. That was in Tuscaloosa, actually, I think, that game. And then now they lost in Nashville again, 40-35. Who would ever figure that Vanderbilt team a year ago just was having so much trouble scoring points, scored 40 points against Alabama and all their 4- and 5-star defenders. So Alabama, to look on their side, there's some serious issues with that defense now. I would just say that.
There is. I wanted to ask you a pointed question. This one came from Trey. So what did Alabama, he didn't get to watch the game. He didn't get to see it working. So what happened? What did they do differently? I mean, they took names last week, Alabama against Georgia. I mean, they took names and did a great. So what did they not do this time that they did with Georgia?
Right. Well, if you recall now, Donna, last week they gave up 34 points to Georgia. And here you're thinking, we're playing Vanderbilt. No way we're going to give up 34 points. No, they didn't. They gave up 40. I mean, that includes the pick six as well. But so Alabama's defense in 2 games, Donna, 74 points. I can't remember Alabama being ranked so high and giving up so many points back-to-back games, if there is such a stat. Because 74 points in 2 games, you're not going to win many down the stretch. And Alabama's going to play some good offensive teams that we'll discuss in a minute. But Alabama defensively, when you can run the football, Donna, then you have balance in your offense. So that is you counter the defense because they're off balance. You're balanced with your offense, but you put them off balance because they don't know, are we going to run the football? We're going to pass the football. So that drives defensive coordinators to do things they normally wouldn't because they can't depend on the defensive line, the linebackers to stop the run. And in the secondary, they're creeping up, and then you throw over the top, which they did against Alabama.
You know, one thing I don't like to do is say something where I've got to eat my words. That's not fun. And so, so Andrew sent a video and wanted to know if I saw this. Brad sent an interview as well.
Okay.
And it was an interview with Saban. And basically what Saban was saying was that, well, no big deal. It's just Vandy. They had to eat those words.
Well,
So, normally Saban doesn't do anything like that.
No. But I would say this too. His name is Andrew, correct? Andrew? I would say, to be fair to Nick Saban, what he said was, and I think, paraphrasing, of course, one of the easiest place to compete is at Vanderbilt, and that's because the opposing team buys all the tickets, primarily. At the Alabama Vanderbilt game, it's usually probably 60 or 70% is all Alabama. So consequently, your crowd is larger than the home team. So that was his point. It wasn't that they were not a good football team. It was the fact that the environment should be all Vanderbilt primarily, but it's not. It's the opposing team.
Uh-huh. Well, he also said in that, first of all, never listen to sound bites. You need to listen to the whole interview. But he also said not taking anything away from Vandy.
Right. That's right. That's what he meant. He just said, look, this is the circumstances. I mean, I believe it's factual what he said, that more people, like, for instance, Texas will be coming to town, to Nashville. Now we know Texas, they're going to buy up all those tickets to see Vanderbilt. Now, since Vanderbilt beat Alabama, maybe some of those Vanderbilt fans will hold on to their tickets.
Uh-huh. Some
of them will say, hey, we can make a lot of money. Let's sell them to the Texas people, because we don't think they could have a miracle twice. But it sets up a scenario that Nick Saban described, especially with Texas, first time playing in Nashville, I believe. I don't know if they ever played Vanderbilt, to tell you the truth. So, and we know that they like country music, so they're going to flood the Music City.
Well, let's just talk about Vanderbilt. Sometimes all somebody needs is a little shot in the rear, and they can get the rest of the season. What do you think they're going to do?
Yeah, let's just take a look at their remaining schedule, Donna. They have Kentucky in Lexington next week. Now, Kentucky's coming off a high because they beat Ole Miss, which I covered that game a few weeks ago in Oxford. All right, you have Kentucky. Then you have Ball State. Okay, Vanderbilt cannot slip up. They must beat Ball State. Then you have Texas comes to town, as I mentioned. And then after Texas, they have Auburn comes to town. They could beat Auburn because, Donna, we know that quarterback beat Auburn last year when he was the quarterback at New Mexico State. So there's a couple games right there they could win, okay? Then you have South Carolina. That's in Nashville. Then they have a bye. Then they have to travel to LSU down at Baton Rouge. That'll be a tough game. And then, of course, they will be hosting Tennessee. And we can get to Tennessee in a second if you'd like. But so there's some games there that they can win. Right now, I believe they have the three victories. We know that they took, Missouri to 2 overtimes and lost that game. But so now they have 3 victories. They need 3 victories to be eligible to get to 6 for the bowl. So they can win 3 games and get to the bowl.
Well, I don't care if it's just playing volleyball. If I can unseat the number 1 team, that's going to give me momentum. Yes. And that's going to, I'm just talking, regular talking with folks. What did this do to the rankings with Vanderbilt and with Alabama?
Yeah, Vanderbilt didn't make the top 25 because they have some bad losses, and I'll bring this up. The Alabama people are thinking, not only did we lose to Vanderbilt, okay, we lost to a team who lost to Georgia State. Vanderbilt was beaten by Georgia State in Atlanta. That was a slight upset. So the Alabama people, now let's say Vanderbilt came into this game 4-5-0, and they beat Alabama. Okay, you're not happy, but okay, Vanderbilt's on the upswing. But heck, they beat Virginia Tech to start the season. That was a big victory, right? Then they slid back into their former ways by losing to Georgia State because they couldn't stop them offensively. I think the score was 36-32 down in Atlanta. So. But Alabama in some polls dropped around to number 7 from 1 to 7. So here's the funny thing about football, Donna, in this day and age. Last year, if you looked at Alabama, you're thinking they lost to Vanderbilt. No way they could get to the playoffs unless they won out and won the SEC. And even then, it'd be suspect because maybe somebody would be even with them. And they said the disqualifying win was the disqualifying moment was you lost to Vanderbilt. But in this day and age with 12 teams, Alabama's still in the playoff run, because they can win the SEC, and that'll be an automatic qualifier. So in this day and age of football, with the 12 teams, Georgia lost to Alabama. They're still in contention. Tennessee lost. Alabama lost. Texas is still undefeated. But all these teams in the SEC have lost, except Texas. And, of course, Texas A&M, they lost to Notre Dame the first game. And Notre Dame's a team who ended up losing to Northern Illinois at home. But Texas A&M is undefeated in the conference. So a lot of people are still alive.
Okay, now who does Alabama play this coming weekend?
Yeah, South Carolina. So they're about a 20-something point favorite. South Carolina lost to Ole Miss 27-3. Donna, I don't think there could be an upset here. The only reason I say that because South Carolina has I guess I'll just say I don't think there could be an upset, but it can always happen, right? But South Carolina has 3 points at home against Ole Miss. You practice all week and for months, and you have 3 points. But Alabama's defense is so porous that what if they get 2 or 3 touchdowns and they're able to play some defense against Alabama? Shut them down a little bit, or hold the ball and drive the ball and control the ball for a lot of minutes and keep Alabama's offense on the sideline. That's how you can beat Alabama this year. Keep their offense on the sideline. Even if you don't score, drive the ball, hold possession. But they're a 20-something point favorite at home against South Carolina.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's get ready for a commercial break. This has been an exciting year. You predicted it would be.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, boy, it is.
Wide open.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So who are the top 5 right now?
Yeah, the top 5 done. We have at the top, let me just get my notes here done. They have Texas is at the top. Good football team right now. Ohio State, the team I covered last week. Oregon, a team out west that's in the Big Ten now. You have Penn State also in the Big Ten, and then we have Georgia at number 5.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Let's go to a commercial break. We'll be right back in just a few minutes. Everybody hang in there. Can't believe how time flies.
Twin City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for 2 or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant.
Are you ready?
We all wonder what tomorrow will bring, but the future lays itself at the feet of the prepared and surrenders to the will of the persistent. It's not easy, but today shapes you so you can shape tomorrow. With Northeast Alabama Community College, when the future asks if you're ready, you can answer
Yes.
Begin your future at Northeast Alabama Community College.
I'm excited to announce my all-new mattress topper. In the times we're in, I wanted to bring you the best affordable mattress topper ever. So I took my two best technologies and combined them to make the ultimate mattress topper. And now you can get it for as low as $69.98. Queen size only $99.98. It all starts with my famous MyPillow foam that provides you that overall full body support. Second is the individual comfort supports that give you an amazing custom sleep experience. It's like it's made specifically for you. The queen size alone has over 14,000 comfort supports. This is the perfect mattress topper to improve any bed. New bed, old bed, your guest beds. Get them for every bedroom in your house. Go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get the all-new My Mattress Topper for as low as $69.98. Queen size only $99.98. Don't delay. Order today.
The only place I buy my beef is Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama. Their cattle is born and raised on their ranch, grass and grain fed, and you can feel confident when you serve your family and friends because their beef is all natural and no antibiotics or hormones are added. You can buy whole beef or perhaps go in with family or friends and buy half. Their customer service is number one as they take care of the delivery to their local processor and can deliver to your home for a small added fee. They also offer herd replacement heifers. I always call Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama for my beef specialty recipes and cookouts, and you can too. Food shortages are increasing, so buy local by calling 256-523-6462. That's 256-523-6462.
We're back. My name is Donna, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show, where truth matters. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, especially this guy right here. His name is AP Steadham. AP has several talk shows, several outlets, so you can't get away from him. So he's all over the place. It's a good thing because he speaks the truth. And he really puts you have been like you pick the favorites. How do you get this inside information, AP?
I don't know. I try to look at things objectively. You're trying to figure out, you look at the quarterback first, Donna. Do they have a quarterback that can beat the other team? That always catches my attention. And then you're looking at the defense. Can they stop the other team? On occasion, we know that defense is relative now. I mean, those days of shutting teams out 5 or 6 games, that's long gone because of these offenses. These players are so talented on offense. So you try to look at the quarterback, look at the defense, check the kickers, and the coaching as well. The coaching matters.
It really does. AP and Kelly, as we see it, what happened on the show last week?
Yeah, Donna. We had a fun show last week. We had Blake Topmeyer from the USA Today. He's the senior national college football columnist, so he's very fluent. If you ask him a question about any team, he's very good and knowledgeable. So it was fun to discuss the SEC and some of the things happening with the 2 leagues, the SEC and the Big Ten. So people can catch that show. It's on our Spotify. It's on our video YouTube channel as well, my personal channel, and the show's the YouTube channel, AP and Kelly As We See It. And then, of course, every Friday, 4 p.m. Central, IC Radio right here. We have our show, AP and Kelly As We See It.
No, we're tickled to death to have it. Now, who's going to be on the show this coming week? You got that lined up yet?
You know, Donna, I'm thinking I'm actually going to be traveling to Dallas, Texas. So I'm thinking that we need to have somebody for that Red River rivalry because that's the first time Oklahoma and Texas, they're new to the conference. That's the first time it's part of the SEC. So we'll probably have a guest that will be able to discuss that game and those 2 teams.
Oh, let's talk about that game. How do you predict it?
Yeah, Texas, they're flying high. Quinn Ewers was the starting quarterback. You know, he's from Texas, played at Ohio State, sat on the bench, transferred back to Texas, played that year, was injured. Now he's playing with the team this year, injured again. Arch Manning came off the bench. You know, he's a celebrated grandson of Archie Manning, the son of Cooper Manning. His uncles Eli and Peyton Manning, of course. So they'll be the favorite because Oklahoma is having trouble on the offensive end. Pretty good defensive team, but they can get worn out because if you don't possess the ball enough, your defense gets tired. They have a couple of quarterbacks. Jackson Arnold started the season. Hawkins came off the bench as a true freshman, so he'll probably start for him, I would imagine. But they can always use the other quarterback. But it's a big rivalry, as we know. Texas and Oklahoma, they play that game at the old Cotton Bowl. That's the old Cotton Bowl right there in Dallas. That's the state fair that's going on at that time as well. So I'm really excited to cover that game, to attend the state fair, to watch those teams, the orange, the burnt orange, and the red go against each other. They have so many great football games and players and coaches and legends from that game.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Wow. I mean, it's just an exciting year for football. So, I mean, I'm really excited. I really am. So make sure you get some good barbecue out there too, by the way. Those Texans know how to do it. And they put it in the sauce.
In the sauce. Okay. Somebody told me that. Make sure I eat at the state fair. They said, make sure you eat something at the state fair. So I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely. They also, some say they are offended if you want sauce on it.
Oh,
so
really?
You don't need sauce.
Oh, don't need it. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So it just depends on the Texan you ask. This Texan right here says no sauce. You don't
I'll remember that. I remember that, Phil.
The one I'm married to over there. So let's talk about Tennessee. We've had a lot of folks responding about Tennessee.
Yeah, Tennessee down it. Look, I said at the beginning of the season, if Josh Heupel has his quarterback, watch out. Well, they beat Oklahoma a few weeks back, put on 25 points. I think that included safety as well. But in reality, Oklahoma played good defense against them, held them in check because, they have the number one offense, averaging about 50 points a game. Here they are. They traveled to Fayetteville, Arkansas, and Arkansas shut them down, holding them to 14 points. They ended up losing 19-14. And so Tennessee right now playing better defense. We've been waiting for this for a couple of years now. They have the defense to complement the offense. But offensively, they didn't have all those points on the board. I mean, that's 14. That's like just getting started for Tennessee in those prior games when they're scoring 50 points. So I think Tennessee, there's some issues on the offensive side. He's got to rectify that and be more fluid with throwing the football. Nico Iamaleava. So Tennessee this week, Donna, they have the Florida Gators, which is a rival, but that game's in Knoxville, so they have a chance to redeem themselves on the offensive side because Florida sometimes they struggle offensively. So it's a big game for them. And then, of course, the following week, it's the big game against Alabama up in Knoxville. So, but Tennessee is still in contention in this crazy world where you have the 12-team playoff. They're still fighting to be in position, even though they lost to Arkansas, who we always said was a good football team, just came up short a few times against Oklahoma State and Texas A&M. So Arkansas is a good football team. They lost to them in Fayetteville, but they got to get that offense cranked up down.
Michael wants to know who you think is the most misunderstood team.
Most misunderstood team. Let me see.
Sounds like a poor brat kid.
Right. Yeah. There are some teams, Donna, that have had some bright spots. Kentucky went down to beat Ole Miss in Oxford. Okay,
we would probably say them.
Kentucky, right? I think they got a chance to do some good things because they play defense. They're always in the game, Donna, and their quarterback's getting better with his receivers, Rob Vandegrift. Tennessee is a team. I still believe in them, but they've got to do some things with the quarterback and his receivers to score more points against these better teams. We saw them annihilate lesser opponents, but now you're into the heart of the SEC schedule, a little bit tougher defensively. So, what's Georgia? What are they going to do? They lost to Alabama. They saw Alabama get defeated by Vanderbilt. Are they going to have a comeback? I believe they will because they came back in that game. So Georgia, a team that's still vying for that playoff. LSU, they have very good offense. Defensively, huge question marks all the time under Brian Kelly. They just can't seem to stop people. They host Ole Miss this week, I believe it is. Ole Miss down in Baton Rouge. Ole Miss coming off a good game against South Carolina. Those are rivals, LSU and Ole Miss. That's a game we want to keep an eye on because moving forward, the winner will have, of course, a much better chance to be in the playoff. So there's a lot of question marks in this league. As we said to start the season, the key phrase is wide open. Everybody was chasing Georgia and Ohio State. Well, Alabama caught Georgia. Nobody's caught Ohio State yet. But that's the way I feel about this season. It's just a wide open. We don't know who's going to be in that 12-team playoff. And that's why every game you play, it's important. You hear a lot of people say, "Oh, this is a big game." Well, Gene Stallings once said, "Just lose a game and you'll find out it was a big game." Like Alabama, they didn't think the Vanderbilt game was a big game. Some people who follow Alabama, well, it turned out to be a big game. Did it?
Mm-hmm.
Because they lost. So that's a big game when you lose to Vanderbilt. So every game is big. If you're a team vying to be in that college football playoff and go undefeated or have one loss for the season, every game is big.
Absolutely. Owen thinks that Auburn's a big deal. So what does Auburn, do they have a chance to redeem themselves this year?
Yeah, Auburn, like I said, beginning of the year, we call them a spoiler team. I'm not sure they're in that category because they can't seem to complement each other. Sometimes the offense plays well and the defense doesn't, like last week against Georgia when they lost 31-13. And Auburn is turning the ball over at a high rate. They were 131st, I think, entering that game last week. But they have to play complementary football. Offensively, they had been moving the football, but those turnovers killed them. Last week, they just couldn't hold Georgia down. 31 points, you only scored 13. So they couldn't get it together. So Auburn right now, we said they were a spoiler team, but they have to show me and other people that they can get to that category. They have an off week, and then they're going to play Missouri in Columbia. Now, Missouri took a beating from Texas A&M, 41-10. Okay, that was an inexcusable way to lose. You're the 9th ranked team. A&M was 25th, even though A&M was a point and a half, 2 point favorite. So you knew something was happening when the people who make those odds made A&M, the 25th team, the favorite over the 9th team. Mm-hmm. So you got two teams, Missouri and Auburn, the Tigers, both of them the Tigers, trying to redeem themselves when they get together in Columbia, not this week, but the following week.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. A lot of folks have sent emails, and this is in response to college football players being paid. I've not really seen that big of a difference in the way they're playing the game. I've kind of agreed when it first began, but are you seeing any differences?
I think slightly. This is a slight difference, Don, I believe. I think on the field, the players, some of the antics on the field, they realize that the coach doesn't have the ability to corral some of their behavior. I think you saw, for instance, in the Alabama game, things were happening that you would normally see, maybe if they weren't getting paid, but they're more free to act out their frustration, I would say. And there's celebration things that are happening. And I tell people all the time, look, I'm all for fun. Anybody's been around me knows I love to have fun, but I'm not going to jeopardize my team with a celebration penalty or some act of frustration, because we're vying for the same goal, try to win the game. We're not children out there. We're responsible to each other, accountable to each other. So let's celebrate with our teammates. I say on the sideline. Go to the sideline, do any dance your mama taught you.
I totally agree. AP, we're going to have to call it a day. Thank you so much for being with us. It's always a pleasure. Football Friday at 4, AP and Kelly as we see it. Now, that's 4 p.m. Central Time, so make sure you keep that Central Time in there as well. AP, again, thanks, and thank you guys so much for watching. We definitely appreciate that, and thank you so much to all of our sponsors as well. Y'all have a great, great day.
Thank you, Donna.